Thanks, everybody. So we are going to begin. We are going to be talking about the legacy of Cesar Chavez today. You have your biography of Cesar Chavez on your table. Raise a quiet hand with thumbs up if you have Cesar Chavez biography with you. The other thing that you should also have is your timeline. What do you have?
Timeline.
Thanks. So please find your timeline now. And thumbs up if you have your timeline of Cesar Chavez in front of you. Today we are going to talk about the legacy of Cesar Chavez. What part of this timeline should we talk about?
Legacy.
So please look at the guiding questions at the back of the room. So let's take a look at our guiding questions. Our first guiding question is, what are the components of a biography? You read it.
What are the components of a biography?
So we're going to be talking about the biography of Cesar Chavez. The second question is, how do we identify the major events of a person's life? Read it. I like how Julissa is looking right up at the guiding questions. The third guiding question is, how do we organize the major events of a person's life on a timeline? Read it, go.
How do we organize the major events of a person's life on a timeline?
So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at the phases of life and thinking about the legacy of Cesar Chavez. The last guiding question is, how do we depict, say it,
How do we depict
a person's life story
a person's life story
through art, music, or writing?
through art, music, or writing?
So with Mr. Rendon, you've been working on your songs of Cesar Chavez and music. With Miss Amy, you're working on your clay tile engraving of Cesar Chavez. Let's take a look at our concept for today. So our concept for today is, we can organize major events in a person's life on a timeline. You're going to be doing that now on your timeline. Most of you have finished the first 4 phases. This is the last phase. What's the last phase of his life?
Legacy.
Legacy. And let's see here. Raise a quiet hand and tell me, what color is that on your timeline? Jesus, what color is it on your timeline?
Purple.
It's purple. Everybody, please look back now at the timeline in the classroom and identify the phases of life from other people that we've studied. You might see the legacy of Harriet Tubman. You might see the legacy of Gandhi. You might see the legacy of Frida Kahlo. And today, we're going to add the legacy of Cesar Chavez. Here's the next guiding question. Concept for today. We can ask clarifying questions to help our comprehension of a biography. Read the second one. Ready? Go. We can ask clarifying questions to help our comprehension of a biography. Can you please grab your biography now and please open it to the very end of the story, the legacy of Cesar Chavez. So I'm opening up my biography. I'm going to find the part where I indicated the legacy of Cesar Chavez. Please find page 11 in your biography. It talks about the legacy of Cesar Chavez. Please find page 11 in your biography of Cesar Chavez. And you should be reading with me up on the screen or in your own biography. Let's read the legacy. Ready? Go. Cesar started the National Farm Worker Association to help improve the working conditions of farm workers. Here's what I'd like you to do. Turn to your partner and talk about what was one of the things that was hard for farm workers. Why did he want to improve the conditions? Turn to your partner, tell them about that. Ready, go. What was one of the things that was hard for farm workers?
That was hard for farm workers that the owner that had gave them less money.
So they got a little bit less money for their work. What else, David? What was happening with the farm workers? Why did Cesar want to improve the conditions?
Because like they were like
So see, you've got something that you highlighted here before, right down at the bottom here.
Cesar and the farm workers wanted the.
How do they want to respect farm workers? Find that key word, respect farm workers. You see where it is? You highlighted it right at the bottom, and now keep on reading. They wanted to respect farm workers by
providing them with fresh water to drink, bathrooms.
And bathrooms. Where did they need bathrooms? Where were they working to pick all the vegetables?
And the farm.
Yeah, on the farm, in the fields, right? So 2 ways that they wanted to help improve the conditions of farm workers. Toodoo bam. Toodoo toodoo bam. Raise a quiet hand and tell me, what's one of the things that they wanted to improve? Why did Cesar want to improve conditions for farm workers? Yeah, Roberto.
because the fathers didn't have enough money, so Cesar Chavez they still have little money.
So one thing they wanted to do is improve so they had more money. What did they want to improve?
More money.
Yeah, so the farm workers got paid more for their work, okay? And Carolina, what's the other thing they wanted to improve?
To have more clean water and private bathrooms.
So clean water and
Private bathroom.
bathrooms. That's really important when you're working, right, in the fields. You need water because it's hard work, and you need a place to go to the bathroom. Yes, Mario.
They want to be with respect.
They wanted to be treated with respect. That's like every other person would want to be treated, right? To have good working conditions, clean water, bathrooms, with respect. Adrian, did you want to add something?
They wanted more money because they wanted more food.
They wanted more money because they wanted to be able to buy their own food too. Not only the food that they picked, but the food that they bought. So to do this, Cesar started something called the National Farm Worker Association. What's the name of it? So here's what I'd like you to think about now. The legacy is how we remember a person when they are no longer alive. So please find the legacy section on your timeline. Please raise a quiet hand and tell me, when did Cesar Chavez die? When did his legacy start? Kawayan?
1993.
So Cesar Chavez died in 1993. That's when his legacy started, beginning with the United Farm Workers. So please go ahead now and add to your timeline the legacy of Cesar Chavez. Tell me about conditions of farm workers and the United Farm Workers Association. Add to it. Ready? Go. So Sergio, go ahead now and add to your legacy. You started off with Cesar died in 1993. Read it back to yourself.
Cesar died on 1993.
He died in 1993. Can you change that, please? Cesar died in 1993. And now tell me, what's the next thing that you're going to add as part of the legacy of Cesar Chavez? What did Cesar Chavez start? Good. Look in your biography. So remember, we were on page 11 in your biography. Okay. It's right up at the very top now. What did Cesar start?
Cesar started the National Farmers Workers Act.
Good. It's called the National Farm Worker Association. What's it called?
The
National
Farm Workers.
So say the words with me. Here we go. National Farm Worker Association. Okay, so put that down as part of his legacy. That's one thing that he started. So Adrian, I see that you've got, when did Cesar die?
1999.
1993. 3, so you've got a good start to your sentence. Cesar died in 1993, and what was his legacy? What did he start?
He started the National Farm Workers.
Yep, it's called National Farm Worker Association. Go ahead and write that down, please. Thank you. I see that Anaí is adding to the legacy. So is Roberto, Jesus, and Tracy. So please take about 1 more minute and add now to that legacy. And Leslie's absent today, so I'm going to help her out, and I'm going to add to her paper about legacy. I'm going to say Cesar started the National, capital M, Farm Worker, capital F in farm, capital W in worker, Association. That's a multi-syllable word, so we want to break that down into pieces to be able to spell it. Watch how I do it. A-so-ci-a-tion. So if you clap that out, association, that's 5 syllables. Association. So break that up. And now I'm going to ask you to grab your purple paper in 30 more seconds. Thank you, I've got it. I'm going to ask you to grab your purple paper in 30 more seconds. And 15. And 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. So you're going to finish this one also, but I want you to work on your purple paper right now to add to our timeline. Okay, Daniela? 3, 2, and 1. Bum, ba-da-bum, bum. Can I have everyone please grab your purple square and hold that up and show it to me, please? Show it to me. Fantastic. So this is going to be your purple square that we are going to add to our classroom timeline. The purple stands for what phase, everybody?
Legacy!
So think about, what is the most important thing that you can tell me about Cesar Chavez's legacy? What I want you to do is use your biography, use your timeline, write your ideas down. After you write it down, we're going to put this on the timeline, and then we're going to see our video to see if you got an idea from Cesar Chavez's legacy, or you can add something to it. So go ahead and start. Write your best idea. What would you say is the most important thing about Cesar Chavez's legacy? Get started on your purple square. Ready, go. Good. So you've got Cesar started the National Farm Workers Association. He was helping to improve the working conditions. So are you going to put the same thing on your purple square? Is there anything else that you might want to add? What else do you remember about Cesar Chavez's legacy?
That Cesar and the farm workers wanted to campaign.
Okay, good. Let me ask you, do you remember our work with Mr. Rendon in music class about the Cesar Chavez corrido? So you can go pick that up. What's one of the things that was the slogan of Cesar Chavez, that Cesar Chavez says all the time? We can do it, right? How do we say that? We can do it? Si se puede, compañeros, si se puede. So that's part of the legacy. That's Cesar Chavez was the first one to say that. So you might want to add that in to your legacy of the timeline of Cesar Chavez.